glass. If you can touch it, it's hard. Because if you try to use it before it hardens, whatever you do is not going to dry. It's just going to remain soft and wobbly, and it will lose shape because of the softness. So it should be able to dry.
Okay. No, color is okay.
We had already colored this yesterday.
But you can always use the gel colors, just a little bit of color in there. Yeah.
After melting, at this point you put your color.
Yes.
Just a drop or even just a touch.
You'll mix a little and see the tone you need, and then work with that. Okay. So we are going to pour onto this mat before we take it, we transfer it to the former. Okay? Yes. Yeah. So as it cools, it hardens. Right now, if we transferred this to the former, it will just run off. Okay? So we are waiting for it to cool a little bit, but up to that level at which we can transfer it, and it wouldn't run completely, but give us that shape that we are looking for. Okay? Yes. And then I'm trying to give it shape before we transfer it, so we don't have some parts that are cheated. So observation is key here, because I won't tell you how long you need to do this, you just need to observe. Yes. Okay?
You have to balance it in the middle.
Okay. So I'm going to clip here, and then okay.
That's how we want it to be.
It will get
Because
some peaks that are not even. Don't worry. You can always collect it and okay. Add something here.
It should be able to pour.
Okay, let's put it aside. Let it cool completely as we handle other things. Okay, we shall get back to it later. Okay, as she responds to your requests, I would like to know how many of you have bought this before? You have one, right? Okay, come again. Let me inquire. Let me be sure. It's 30. So, so this is a pram, a baby pram, and we are going to make something like this. Because I know, have you made one before? When you bought it, did you use it or you kept it? Until today? That's interesting. So we are going to make something like this, okay? You can get as creative as you can with it, but I tried this out. You can always use different colors. You can choose to have this as a different color. There's so much you can do with it, yes. But for your baby showers and all that, I'm sure it should be able to serve you, okay? And it's very simple to make, yeah. So I'm going to illustrate all this and then, yes, I'm sure now your cutters will have, will be of service to you. Yeah, sure. All right. After that, we shall take on this. Just try to do something slightly different. You can have different colors here. There's so much you can do. And this is what it looks like. Basically, there's so much for it here. This should be able to give you 150 designs, honestly, because you can keep playing around with different colors and designs, and you know, you can choose to have this frollo, you can choose to have this plain, you can apply some red, this can be marble. There's so much you can do with it, okay? Yes, there's so much. So we are going to do this as well, yes, among other things, yes. So this is the cutter for that shoe, and you can always play around to get different looks of the same design, okay?
Like, can it make also for baby girl, or it's just for that?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You need to employ the colors, you know, a few of those small things that you employ, eh? The advantage with this is that they illustrate how to build up to this, okay? And I think our role here is just to show you how you can cut some of these parts, which should come first, how do you play around with them. But according to the manufacturer, you have it all here, okay? So what we are going to start with is this, okay? And we are going to apply a little more CMC into our fondant so it can set very fast. Because remember, we are doing this right now and we should complete it like in the next few minutes. Come again? If you use
It won't work. The CMC is for helping it to dry, so corn flour
Yes,
will not
no,
help.
corn flour won't. Yes, it's a drying agent, fine, but it won't act as fast as CMC. Yes, yeah. Yes, this is fondant, the normal fondant, yeah. Okay.
So this is CMC.
So right now we are going to start with this, and then we keep progressing. I'll keep, explaining what you have to do, but it's a very easy set to deal with because it has everything in. It has the instructions. You just need to see how it's done, and believe me, I expect to see so many designs out of this. With this, you can always change these colors to suit what you want to have. This would be nice for a baby girl. If you employed some blue, you'd cater for a baby boy, I guess. So we are going to roll it thick, okay? Because that's the main body. What we are going for is this now. So we are going to roll it as thick as this. Okay, there is a guide here, okay? And like I mentioned yesterday, for some of you that were here, I told you wouldn't avoid getting some of these cutters. These are independent, but realize that it is giving you the size here, which you must deal with, okay? If you deal with a size smaller or bigger, the rest of these fittings won't match, okay? So you'll need a set of these. Each of these has a role to serve, but for now we are picking out this, and like I've shown you, this is the guide now. You should be able to have it here, okay? Yes. Now this is the size we are going to deal with. This has to be thick because it's the main body, okay? This has to be thick. It will be this thick. So the guide is in here.
The part that is covering has to fit here.
This is the part now.
That's how thick this should be. I'm using vegetable shortening to grease the cutter.
I advise you to use vegetable shortening for so many reasons. They have it in stock here. It is a safe fat to deal with in such, okay? Unlike so many other fats out there that would require you to first, heat them up before you consume them. Yes, I think you need to. That's a bit light, eh? You're right. When you're dealing with CMC, it's better you put in little at a time. Don't just pick a handful and just dump into your fondant, because it will shock you. In a few seconds, it will be solid rock tough. So it's better to keep adding. Yeah, we are going to cut through once again. smoother. Get me smoother. Fondant smoother. So right now she's tracing this out, okay? Yes. So like I told you yesterday, you won't avoid having this knife. Rama, can you give me a second blade? Can you get me another blade? Is that please? So these have to be two. These have to be two, just like you see here. What she's right now tracing out is this part. Okay? This. Clean up with a blade. This is what she's cutting out right now. Cut out this L here, okay? So far we have this, okay? So far we've cut out this. We also have this. So right now we are going to this, okay?
We're going to use it to mark. And you cut along those lines.
You won't avoid having a set of these palette knives. You just won't avoid it. So right now, what we have is this, okay? Right now we have this. Yeah, we have to let these set before we attach them here because we really want them to keep standing straight. So we need to give them some minutes to set before we attach them to that. Okay? Yes. And then also, the importance of CMC in these wheels, the tires, is to be able to suspend this. Okay? If the tires are not strong enough, the weight here, superimposed, will crush this now. Okay? So this will be flat here. So you need enough CMC and some little time to set before it can suspend this weight. Okay? Yes, and that's where the beauty lies. Because if this was flat here, then there's not so much you've done. Okay? Come again? Yes. So the beauty is here, the suspension. This is water. You can also use glue. Either way works. Little water. Don't use too much. You don't want to soak your fondant. Get me some tissue. I'm going to support this part with more. I need more thick, something thick. I'm going to support this part here. I'm only applying water up to here. I don't need to go down here because this is not going to attach to any other part, okay? Some toothpicks, please. Some toothpicks. Right now, it hasn't set completely, so weight is working out this. Okay, let's let it sit for some few minutes as we work on something else. We shall remove them later. This is basically helping to suspend them, okay? Yes, as they dry.
Has to be something small.
It has to be something small. That is for the eyes. And then we are going to use a scallop tool. For the smile. And then the nose now. Now I'm going to lift this once it's done because it's tiny. Going now for the eyes. A very tiny piece of fondant. Very, very tiny. Yeah, that's one set of tools you can't, you can't do without. Yes, we are now it has ears too. This is the tiniest of all. They are not pointed. We shall use a tip. Okay, with the help of water, all edible glue,
15, my dear.
some little water on the nose, okay, the eyes are done, the nose is done. We're now going for the ears. The ears are oval, okay? A teardrop shape. So you need these tools. You need this set.
Abakajja twakozesezza kano. Kano ke twakozesezza
You need, yes. This is what we are going for now. And this is its cutter. It's a very rich set. Yes. How many of you need the set? It has a ball tool, it has a scallop, it has a knife tool. It just has so much. All these have a role to play in your 3D decorations. So our blanket is done.
Where's our baby?
Where's the baby?
Bring back our baby. We have to attach it.
We have to attach the head.
We need to cover that part.
Now the head first. Slightly higher.
Just remove it.
Yeah. Now the blanket.
On the side.
We are only putting water or glue in the sides because we want it to maintain volume at the center to show there's a body inside. We must put the hands as well because we assume our baby is not fully like covered, so we want to put some hands out. We must keep them tiny for proportionality. Yeah. Slightly. That is big. Yes, please. Okay. Ekyo bajja kukiddamu. Ekyo waliwo agenda okukiddamu. Some of these minute details matter a lot. Okay? We shall remove these later on. Yes, please. Is there a question? Okay, we are going to remove our sail. We have to be very careful because as you can see it's fragile, it's glass we are dealing with. So let's pray and hope that it will come out well. Yes. So
I think let me lift the former.
lift the former. Wait a bit, I don't want it to bounce backward.
So you're trying to release it off the mat slowly. The mat has to be silicone, otherwise any other material will not get off. It will break.
Let's keep holding, please. Keep holding. Now, hold this down.
So I have to hold these, being careful not to let them just observe.
Okay.
Wait, tahenga there.
Okay.
So we have to
Can
peel
now
this
put it
off
down.
carefully.
Put it down.
It's glass, so nga bw'okwata glass ewaka.
Yeah. Let me push this out. Come again. Okay.
abatambaddewo twakozeseza
Are you able to pull upward? First we move those inside.
ono isomout gwe bameltize n'afuuka ekyo so nyinawo kano akatiimu kagumu bbiri hafu ya 7,000 kilo ya 14,000.
Our polythene bag is stuck on the mat.
First open
leeteyo
them.
bulala ne hafu muginguleko ya 7,000 zokka. Ninaako
Open this. Let's reduce them.
Oh, I opened here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reduce the weight of these.
emusanyusa nnyo gumu bbiri.
Yeah.
Kati temukaleka ekintu kye kakoze kyagadde ekyo.
So you can choose to have fruits in here, your strawberries. Yes. Right now we are going to cut the sole first. Okay? Yes. Yes. Let's do black pen, or has he made some red? Yeah.
So let's be attaching these.
Trim this.
It will be covered.
So we are attaching the carpet to the sole. We need a gap on either side, okay? We need a gap on either side. The carpet and the sole, okay? Yes.
So we need to put a foot, something to hold this.
Yeah. We are going to put a piece of fondant here to act as a former, okay? Yes, because this part is going to be raised. If we do not put a former on the inside, it will collapse. So this is our former. We apply some little water now in this gap between the sole and the carpet. We apply some little water so it can hold the sides of this shoe now, okay? Okay, we are going to attach these now. Mind the thickness of these sides of the shoe, okay? If it's very thin, it won't stand. Okay? Yes. We are going to put tissue here, okay? Suspend this until it dries out, okay?
that part there.
We are going to make the soul colorful. Someone asked for a red. I hope you're happy. Lower, slightly lower. Yeah, a little thinner. Yeah, we are going to keep this in here for a few minutes before we remove it, the tissue.
It has to be dry first.
We are going to keep the tissue here for a few more minutes before we remove it, so this can dry set, okay? Yeah. This is the rose bud, okay?
So these have to be dry most of it before you start
How much? Yeah. Tubaddewo. Asha ajja kulaga ka video. Omutwalo gw'eno essaawa olwaleero kaddayo ku bbeeyi yaako.
One after the other. Overlap.
The beauty of a rose starts here. Okay? Yes. It doesn't matter how well you might twist the petals thereafter. The center is very important. Yes, please. You need a bigger.
So Osugala, you keep adding.
Sigala oyongerako petals. Toteekako amazzi okutuukira ddala ku tip kubanga kati ogenda kinyiga kireme okuba nga kirimu ki openinga up, okay? Yes.
You skip one, hold the other. Skip one, hold.
You have to interlock them. One goes inside the other. So if you close, they will be on the outside. So
Like a propeller.
I insert this inside.
Okay? Like a propeller.
Open this, I insert this inside here.
Of this. Overlap. Glue oba amazzi kozesa matono. Kozesa matono. Oleme okusookinga petals zo. On both sides, okay? Remember, she turned it upside down so that she folds, okay? Later on, she will apply it onto the bud now, and these folds now will be folding outward. Make sure that it's in the center. If it's not centered, your flower will look crooked. Okay?
The reason why we put on the left is because you're going to open here and you start the second petal before you close, and then
make sure not to damage the tips of your petals. Okay? Yes, now, yes. In a propeller effect.
because you want the flower to enlarge, so you keep opening.
If you do not open, you'll have to put so many petals to get to this size. And that's too much work.
So let's
No, look at another and I think it's a bit
let's
set.
just cut one last one. And then before you add more petals, you already leave the first line to set or dry, and then you come over, because if you put all of them, they will collapse on each other and it won't look nice. So leave it to set a bit and then you add more petals.
This is what we had, right?
No, this is the last one I used, so you need to hold this.
Yeah.
Just
There are some formers there. She's bringing some here. How wide is it? So the first one is a bit closed in, okay? Because the flower is opening, okay? Yes. It will keep widening with the petals, the outer petals. Yes. And as you saw, we want them this thick, okay? So I had to use a wire, divide this whole length of the stamens by 2, and then fold them backward, okay? And now I'm tightening it so they can keep in position. You get my point? Yes.
Biradala 18 gauges
So this is a fantasy peony, it's not a botanical peony. Okay? Yes. Fantasy, yeah?
you shall put some tissue behind each of these because you want it to close. That is like the first petal of the insect.
Different in sizes. The stamens? The stamens, eh? Your rack. He has racks actually, so let him get me a rack, such at least sits. So this is a former. Given a few minutes, this will dry in this shape, okay? Yes. Yes, never inawo bustands already made to do that. So kabulete nabo bulabe. This is about improvising, okay? Yes. This is a flower rack. Yes. So what it does, and so you can have as many as it can accommodate, yeah? Ebimuli temubyanika mu madirisa. Zigira awo bwona. Okay.
Can go to this side. Tap there.
So we are going to hang it, okay? Yes. It should dry upside down. So tekinaba kusetinga completely, so twagala kisetingire ddala. Singa tukiyimiriza, petals zino ezimu zijja collapsinga. Okay? Backward. Kye tutayagala for now. Ninga bw'oba bw'okyagala, wano osobola okuteekawo nga tissue, okay? Then ekikala nga the rolling pin, please. Finally. Yeah, these lines are because of this. So they reflect in here.
Kikuubo.